What's up, everyone? Evan Freiberger here with your 2-day ASAP weather forecast. Let's get into it. All right, so here's the conditions across the United States currently for today. As you can see, I have a little MCS, little spinny boy out there putting down a lot of rain and wind. Potentially a decent amount of lightning as well coming for Memphis. Got a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. We're expecting that to continue to move off to the east towards Memphis, Jackson, and Tupelo. So make sure you have a plan in place when these storms come through. Definitely don't want to be outside, want to be indoors and away from windows. Also, we have a chance for severe weather over here out in the northeast as well. As you can see over here in Connecticut, Massachusetts, also New Hampshire, have a small chance for tornadoes out there, but the main risk is going to be those damaging winds and small potential for some hail with those storms. Also seeing a little bit of severe weather over here by Montreal in Canada. Make sure you have a plan in place. This is going to continue off to the north and east towards Trias Rivieras, Drummondville, and Sherbrooke. All right, so let's go look at what we can expect for the rest of today. So we have a slight risk. Not only are these storms going to impact Memphis and this area of immediacy here, we also have a slight risk going all the way through Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. Also, we have a little slight risk out here for New Mexico and little tiny parts there of Colorado in the main, and then also, a marginal risk around that coming down from South Dakota through Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado, Texas, and New Mexico. Also got a little slight risk around this area that includes more southern parts of Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And we got a little marginal risk around this slight risk over here, including parts of Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire. So yeah, make sure you're weather aware out there. If you live in Halifax, watch out. Got some flooding happening for you. But yeah, let's go kind of look at the models for this day. So yeah, as you can see right here, we do have that little MCS here. So that's picking up accurately on this model. So trust it a little bit, I think. This is the HRRR model. It's not 100% accurate, so make sure you take the timing with a grain of salt, even this close up. I mean, this is, it's July. Models are inaccurate here. A lot of small scale factors that these things can't pick up. But yeah, a couple rain and showers start to pick up at around 6 p.m. as those storms move off to the east. Huntsville, Birmingham also going to be getting impacted by these storms in the overnight hours starting by around 11 p.m. Then that moves into the Georgia. We're not really expecting too much severe weather for Atlanta, but there is a chance there, so watch out there. And then also, as this moves into the early morning hours, some of you guys in South Carolina and parts of Georgia are going to be waking up to severe storms. And we got some rain on the backside there. Also up here in the northeast, you can see, actually zoom out a little bit. There we go. In the northeast, you can see that those storms really start to pop up at around 3 p.m. But by around 5 p.m., we have some more storms working their way around Albany down there by Connecticut as well. Maybe a couple rain and showers and some thunder heading into Maine. And then also by around 9 p.m. we get another round kind of in the same area for potential for severe weather. Really not seeing too much severe weather on the southern part, and when you're in a marginal risk, it's really hit or miss, but there is a small chance there, especially right around the early portion of this model run at about 1 p.m. Down there for Maryland and Delaware. But yeah, so let's go look at tomorrow's risk across the way. So here we go. Tomorrow's risk, we have a marginal. So that's a sigh of relief. We've had a lot of slight risk. If this stays a marginal, this will be the first, I think, day one marginal that we've had this entire month. But yeah, as you can see, we do have a marginal down here for the Gulf Coast for parts of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. Also, a little marginal risk over here in the Southwest for Arizona around the Phoenix and Tucson area. Also, got another little marginal over here for Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin there. So let's move this model forward and see what that day is looking like. So there we go. At around 10 a.m. Still have these storms hanging around here south of Atlanta near Birmingham and Montgomery in the southeast, and then those storms are going to move down to the south and east. As you can see, we have a lot of little bubbly clouds out here, so it's just going to be your typical southern convection with a hail threat and a small damaging wind threat. But yeah, as you can see, definitely get started there at around 9 p.m. widespread chance for severe weather down here for Texas, Louisiana, in the southern portions of these states, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and then moving this all the way through. Now you can see that that's going to stick around, maybe potentially a flood threat there. We'll go look at that in a second. Up here for the plains in the northern plains, you can see that starting at around 3 p.m. potentially some severe weather up there for Minnesota. A small chance though, and then the bigger chance for spotty severe weather is going to be down here in Nebraska, and as you get into western Wisconsin there, and then that's going to move down to the south and east towards Topeka by around 9 p.m. Des Moines is going to be hit or miss for severe weather as well. In Iowa, again, we're not expecting anything too crazy with these storms, so keep that in mind. But yeah, definitely a little bit of chance there. Then we got the monsoon season still kicking off over here in Arizona. So here we go, moving this in to that day, and early in the morning, yeah, definitely some chance for some rain out there. Hopefully we'll give a little bit of relief to all that heat we've been seeing, but it really doesn't seem widespread enough to really provide widespread heat relief, unfortunately. But maybe some severe weather in there, small chance. This model's not picking it up on it too much. It's picking up more on maybe a small chance for severe weather on this. Wait, sorry, that's for the wrong day. A small chance for severe weather there for New Mexico. But yeah, definitely some rain relief, which is good news there. And then now we're going to go over to the day 3, which might surprise you guys. We don't have a marginal risk across the entire United States. So, you know, if this continues, we might have to make a thumbnail that says no severe question mark. But yeah, so now that we're done with that, let's go over the temperatures across the United States. So here's the temperatures, and we'll go, yeah, we're still on the 12Z. So these are the kind of temperatures you can expect for the next 2 days across the United States. And as you can see, that heat continues for parts of, oh my gosh, really continues over here for Arizona, southeastern California. 110s expected there, 105s, maybe even, you know, the upper 100, almost 110 there for just to the west of Eureka there. Then we have still 100 degrees hanging around here for New Mexico. Also in Texas, some hot temperatures there as well, up into the hundreds making their way into Louisiana and into Georgia, all the way up to and 90s and 80s in the southeast, going up into Virginia, maybe some 90s also, potentially up there for Montana, and 80 widespread 80s across much of Canada up there in southern Canada. But yeah, moving this forward, you can see that cools down a little bit over the night, still staying pretty toasty though in some areas there in the Pacific Southwest in there for Louisiana. But then the next day again heats back up, and we're seeing even more widespread 90s in the plains, going all the way up into Minnesota. Hundreds again making their way back into Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and most of California is going to be in those hundreds, with just a few areas higher up in elevation and near the coast missing out on that. And again, those hundreds continue for southern Texas going into Louisiana there. Then overnight time it cools down, and then that's the end of this model run. One more little thing I wanted to touch on before we get off here is we do have, let's see here, turn all these on, hopefully it pops up. It doesn't, but we do have a little tropical system out here, and that is our tropical wave, I should say. But it's trying to get its act together. Let me just get this here. There it is. So here it is right here. It's trying to get its act together. Definitely not a concern right now for the United States, but as the models keep going, it hasn't formed into a tropical depression or tropical storm or anything, but it's just an area to watch. So it is expected to continue off to the east here, and eventually make it into the Caribbean. But anything after that, we're not really sure whether or not that it's going to form into a tropical storm or not just yet. The chances are a little low. Over the next 2 days, it's 20%. And then over the next 5 days, it is 40%. So we're going to keep our eye on it, especially since now we're getting into a little bit more of the busy time of tropical season. But yeah, thank you all for watching. and have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. The like button helps us reach more people with this forecast, and the subscribe button is mainly for you so that you can find this channel again if you enjoy these forecasts. All right, see you then.